So, whenever we grow our food, we think about how we clear the forest, how we burn the forest, how we till the soil, how we cut the trees. Then we start growing food. But my way of farming is how we create a food forest. What is my concept of food forest is how we grow these fruit crops, like this beautiful orange sapling is growing here in the wild with the plants here. We don't have to cut the forest. Inside the forest, how we grow our food. I think that is our origin. We know about the global warming. We know about how important is the climate resilient farming system, which we the farmers has to follow. Come, I'll show you another plant, right? See how beautifully this chili plant, this is a king chili plant, and this is growing here wild in this forest. We just planted it. When we planted, we made a raised bed. See, this is and how we made the raised bed. No tillage. Just we gathered the whole topsoil, beautiful topsoil. See the color of the soil. And then we planted it. Now, see atom castings. Everything is coming. So it's growing so nicely. No disease, no insect. Even if there are some insects, they are growing strong. This is the correlation, how we live together. How, as Homo sapiens, we also think about surviving together with the wild. No irrigation, no maintenance. Just one-time planting inside the forest, and we don't pamper our food crops. They also grow like all crops because they are also important. There is a correlation. Our life is of togetherness. Not only our family members and only the Homo sapiens. We have to think about how we live together with the bees, with the birds, with the animals, and everything. It is a life of togetherness. So this is what my food forest model is. What I want to say you here is, whatever we are doing, creating a food forest is nothing new. This is something which our ancestors used to do. We were food gatherers. We used to gather food from the forest. Now, the forest land is going down and we cannot gather food. Population is increasing. I know there will be so many people talking about how this is sustainable. But if you look at that, we have also forgotten how to grow our own food. We have left growing our own food. And still, in my part of the country, in Northeast India, we have so much of hills and forests which are cut down for timbers, cut down for many reasons, like even farming. They burn the forest every year. And the ancestral practice was they used to sift the land and burn it after 10 years of cultivation. But nowadays, we burn it every year, which is very dangerous for the world, for the climate, everything. I and my friends and my farmer friends here with my green commandos are doing is, we are just reviving how human beings can go back to the roots and grow food like it was earlier. Only thing is we have to incorporate. The food we gathered is now not there, but we have to grow food inside the forest. We don't have to come into the conspiracy of food where our local food is killed. And we are dependent on some kind of crops which needs very high-tech farming, which needs very high cost of cultivation, where farmer is dependent from seeds to the feeds and the whole value chain. The farmer is only buying something. My experience of 1.5 decades tells me that no, the conventional way of farming, the industrial way of farming, no farmer's kid wants to be a farmer. Live lazily with nature, plant the tree, nature will take care of that and make the whole world green. So let's go back to the roots and create food forest. See, we are in a place in the food forest where we are growing turmeric, gooseberries, garcinia, lemons. This turmeric, we will eat half of that and half we will keep it for the seeds. Nothing comes from outside, not even our farm area or our house, even not cow dung or cow manure from the or any vermicompost here. This is all everything what is wild, and this is only from the forest. All resources from the forest we grow. See, my turmeric plants are taller than me now. See, right? This place where I'm sitting, you see, this is an elephant step. This big is this, right? These are all elephant steps. So we have lots of elephants which come from that side. So when in the rainy season, it's very dangerous for them also. Why they come here is like now we have grown some elephant apple in our food forest for them. And we have grown on the downside so that they don't have to climb up. Why I'm telling that they don't have to climb up is because many times the young babies of the elephant, the baby elephant, they slide down and they fall. And it's very interesting. If you look at this area, this whole, this is nothing but rain time, they will just fold their legs and they slide because it is very slippery. When the vegetations are there, so they will just take one leg up and they go down like this. But when it is like this slip, so they will slide down. Many times the baby elephants fall down and the mothers become furious. So what we have done now is on the border side, so that they don't come up and they don't fall down, we have grown some lemon trees which has got some thorns. So they come and they fill it with the trunk and they don't love it. So they go that side. We divert them that side. And that side we are growing some bananas, which they like. And also we are growing that elephant apple, their favorite fruit. It is not only they who eat the elephant apple or the bananas. We also get the banana inflorescence, which is a very good iron-rich food. We get the elephant apple, we make it into herbal drinks. And this has got antioxidant and that has got a very good market value. For those people who will be asking me, okay, if you don't go industrial model, how can you feed such a big population? How the farmers can earn money? This elephant apple, which grows where the elephant also eats, we also get half of it. We process it and make it into a herbal drink, which costs around 2,000 rupees, which fetches us 2,000 rupees in the market. So high value and low volume crops. We have so much of medicinal plants. Like you look at that plant. That plant is called a 3-bean. One bean cost is around 50 rupees. These are all local but very high value crops. So the economics is balanced. We have planted so many of yams here. And those colocaceae are also very good food for the porcupines. Now, we have so many porcupines coming at night. We have wild boars come at night and they eat the yams. So we plant more for them. If I need, suppose 200 yams for my farm, for my sale from the food forest, I grow 500 yams so that the animals also survive. So this is the coexistence I'm talking about. Another thing I want to tell you about this, how the animals and the human can coexist in this food forest. You might be knowing that birds are, we have so much of birds here. If in the morning you will see lots of birds, different kind of birds. They are responsible for dispersing the seeds. They are the God's farmer, I believe that. And now what we have seen that we have grown wood apples or Indian coffee plums, which are local fruit crops. But now small plants are coming up which we haven't planted. So that means there is the birds who are eating the fruit and they are also littering with the seeds and the plants are coming. That is nature's rule which is coming back to the food forest. Now this bamboo, we plant lots of bamboo. You know, bamboo is the most eco-friendly crop. It can trap most of the carbon. So when we talk about global warming, bamboo is something which is very important part of my food forest. here I'm going to show you something very beautiful which is happening. That is, we are growing king chili under this bamboo canopy because this is a shade-loving crop and they love shade. Many people told me that you cannot grow anything inside a bamboo canopy, but here in one bamboo canopy in this food forest, we have more than 100 numbers of king chili plants. And see, this is the king chili. This is the king chili, 250 rupees per kg value. So this is a high value crop and it's a low volume. So this grows very nicely under the bamboo canopy, and look at the nature's help. This all bamboo dry leaves are fallen, you see, and it has mulched. It is covered. You see that plant? Every plant is covered with, and it keeps the moisture inside the bamboo plant. Again, the earthworm castings are coming up, and it is giving nutrients to the plant. And nothing. We don't have water also, but the moisture is conserved. And other like this, grasses are not growing near the chili plant because already this dry bamboo leaves which they fall down, they are keeping them away. It is called mulching, right? We don't have to do mulching. Nature is helping us with mulching. Another very important thing is that many scientists told me that you cannot grow something inside the bamboo because there are lots of termites. What I see now is when the bamboo leaves fall down, the termites don't love coming there. So it is a natural insect control. This is a place where after walks we take some rest here. Very peaceful, very calm. This is also a place where my green commandos, the young people, I train them to take this concept forward to the communities, to the villages, to stop cutting or destroying our forest, and how we grow food inside the forest. So they come here, and this is a natural classroom where this biosphere teaches them more than me, because it has got the power to attract. It has got the power to make us so close to what we have come so far distance away, leaving our soil or our roots, how our crops are growing. No water, only rain fed. We are dependent on the rain. Why not we grow food inside the forest? Why not we give a try? And that trial led to the establishment of this big food forest, where we have more than now 5,000 numbers of local food crops, fruit crops, many kind of crops which are very adaptable and locally grown. And now I'm very happy as a farmer because I feel nature has the power to do something from nothing. As a farmer, my role is just to assist nature. This is what scares me. In the name of agriculture, burning the forest every year. So much of soil insects are gone. So much of plants are burnt. So much of trees are cut. This is not agriculture. Agriculture is related to soil. Agri means soil, and culture is like how we culture it. But it is our culture also, like our tradition. How we are keeping it from our ancient times, how we live in harmony with the nature. And that is why we need a food forest.
So after cutting the trees, after burning the lands, this is what happens. This looks beautiful, but it is not natural. This is somewhere we lose the fertility of the soil, the erosion. The whole thing is open now. The soil erosion, wind erosion, if there is rain and it is slow, the topsoil will be eroded. And this is somewhere where we are growing only the food crops. And this will attract so much of insects. which will come, and they will come and attack here. Monocropping starts. And then we have to go for controlling them, killing them. In this method, this is a method of elimination. To live and eat, we are eliminating the nature. As a farmer, I believe this soil is not ours. This is our future generation, our kids. We have to give them how it is natural, right? So that they can also live on that. We are selfish now. We just only want to grow our food at the cost of anything. Cost of the soil fertility, cost of clearing the nature. This area, to make it into a farm, how much of trees we have cut, how much of oxygen we have lost. This has to be calculated. So this is not an example of man and wild. It is not an example of correlation. It is an example of man versus wild.
How can you lose this beautiful nature for just growing food? How can you be so much selfish? We cannot destroy this by burning. We cannot think about we burn this and we add to the global warming, a crisis the whole world is looking out after. So how can we be profitable just burning this beautiful nature? But the other way out is keep it like this. There are so much of spaces. Already wild food crops are growing. And we have to incorporate the local crops here and grow our food together in harmony with the nature. I'll be talking about my homestead food forest model, where we are not removing the grasses and the weeds, all crops, and it's growing like the forest. And these are something where we practiced the way the books teach us to grow turmeric. Clean cultivation, remove the grasses and take care of them. This is the same time planting. So look at the height. And even those plants which you have seen in the food forest, we planted at the same time. But the growth is more there. So if we make, I don't know how to tell or how to prove my agricultural book wrong, but my experience as a farmer tells me that when in the wild, they are more better. They're more, you don't need to pamper them. But when we go like this, clean cultivation, these are very dwarf and the growth is very much affected. I think we need lots of inputs like nutrients to be supplied to these crops. But there is the balance of nature. They get every kind of nitrogen to phosphorus to potassium to all the nutrients they need naturally through the action of the microorganisms in the soil in the food forest. So now, how we create a food forest? So there are some ways how we plant inside the food forest. This is our orange plant which we have planted. So when I studied agriculture, I learned that the plants has to be planted in a specific time of the year when there is rainfall and the water is there. But that's because I feel my plants has to be very strong from when it is small, from its, like when it is a baby plant, when we plant it, it has to be very strong. And it has to strive the herd, like how they adapt to the situation and grow. So we plant them in the off-season. Most of the planting, which I do in my food forest, is in the winters. And how we do it? So just we make a pit. For example, see this. We have made a pit of around 1 feet by 1 feet. We dig the soil and take out the soil and keep it aside. So how much we will dig? We'll dig around another 1 and 1.5 feet. Then we will loosen the soil, put the soil again back with the topsoil at the top. And then we will just near Before digging, we will just scratch up this all earthworm casting. See, the whole forest is full of a very beautiful layer of topsoil with full humus. We have like the leaves fall down and they become compost. So we put that also after filling up the pit, and then we plant the tree. But when we plant, even I teach my green commandos, when we plant, we just meditate and put our all positive energy to the plant, because we are planting something to be grown naturally. So we just put all the positive energy, our love. This is another way, like how we make the zero tillage beds. So if we have selected this place for growing some other crops like the chilies or any kind of local herbs, so Thai corianders, what we will do is we will just collect the topsoil and we'll collect it from the nearby area. Dry leaves. We will put below 6-inch layer of dry leaves. Then we will put a 3-inch layer of topsoil. Because this is the forest and I told you we do the planting in the winter time. So whenever we burn some fire for us to be keeping us warm, or also there are lots of mosquitoes which bite us while working here. To remove the mosquitoes also, we burn a small fire in a pit, and then we make that ash, and we bring that ash and also the biochar, like we make charcoal out of the cut pieces of bamboo, and we put it on the top layer. And above that, we will plant the tree, and they will survive. These leaves will be keeping lots of moisture. And the most important thing is, after some days when we come, we see the seedlings growing, and the leaves, the dry leaves will fall down and they will mulch it. That is my zero tillage bed. I have more than 50 techniques of growing inside the forest. We used to have farm for soul campings, which is a 3 days farm camping where people come and they learn it. So we spread it. My organization is called Spread Northeast, and we spread it to the world how we grow food inside the forest. Water is very precious, and this model of food forest can conserve lots of water because it is agroforestry model, where all the trees are growing together into a dense forest, including the food crops, thus creating a very beautiful microclimate, where the evaporation is checked by the tall trees and the middle height trees, and this whole flow off of water is checked by the whole shrubs and other food crops growing together. And this can also recharge ground aquifers. And how many now streams I could see which are rejuvenated, they are becoming lively again. And this model can be so effective to also rejuvenate our rivers by creating this kind of food forest just on the bank of the rivers. Agriculture needs lots of water as a perception, but here we grow food inside the forest, wildly with the forest, not eliminating anything through the compassionate farming model, and we can grow food in such a little amount of water. Just rain-fed, just we have to conserve it. My dry leaves fallen down are helping me, the grasses growing is helping me. Agroforestry, afforestation, including food crops inside the forest is the solution. How we make the seed bombs. This is a ball of mud and compost mix. We take mainly from the forest only, the topsoil. Then we make ball like this. Now you see these are seeds, and I'll place the seeds here and put it inside like this. So my farmer friend Das is also doing that, and we make this kind of balls and we throw it in the forest. They will grow pumpkins, the escorts, those kind of crops grow very nicely. And one fine day you go and you see that whole your food forest is full of those crops. I believe in the statement that God gives you a solution to every challenge He gives us. We had lots of monkeys who come and like they were eating also, they were like destroying also some crops. But now God has sent a family of langurs. So the monkeys are afraid of the langur, so the langur controls the monkeys. So this is nature's rule. So they will also eat. So we will throw the seed now. How we throw it? We just take the ball and throw it gently to the forest. So This is how we make the seed bombs. This is one way of creating the food forest.
Oh, yar kuru no kuru, tiaka khori. Tokone dal নহলে যাওঁ বাগৰি মোৰ নাম হৰেশ্বৰ দাস পূৰ্বতে আমাৰ মা দেউতাহঁতে যেনেকৈ জংঘলৰ পৰা বিচাৰি আনি আলু কচু ঢেকিয়াবোৰ আমাক খুৱাইছিল ঠিক তেনেকৈ আমিও ফুড ফৰেষ্টৰ পৰা কিছুমান নিজেই তাতেই লগোৱা যেনে আলু কচু আৰু ভোট জলকীয়া যেনে কৃষ্ণ জলকীয়া আৰু মানিমনি ঢেকিয়া বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ খেতি কৰি সেইবিলাক আমি আনি নিজেও খাওঁ ল'ৰা ছোৱালীকো শিকাওঁ ঠিক তেনেকৈ মাজতে কিছুমান সংস্থা লগ পাই হাবি কাটি জ্বলাই দি প্ৰকৃতিক ধ্বংস কৰি আমি বেছিকৈ মাটি চহাই খেতি কৰিব ধৰিছিলোঁ ঠিক তেনেকৈ গৈ তাত বহুত আমাৰ লছ হয় কোনো লাভৰ অংশ দেখা নাপাওঁ নিজেই চলাটো অসুবিধা হয় তেনেকৈ আমাক এজন শিক্ষিত খেতিয়কে লগ পাই তেখেতৰ লগত আলোচনা কৰিলোঁ তেখেতে আকৌ আমাক বহলকৈ ফুড ফৰেষ্টৰ কথা ক'লে সেই খেতিয়কজন আছিল শ্ৰী সমীৰ বৰদলৈ নামৰ তেখেতক মই ধন্যবাদ দিওঁ আৰু ওচৰৰ গাঁও অঞ্চলৰ কিছুমান মানুহকো আমি এই কথাখিনি জনাইছোঁ
This is a place where you can see banana plants, orange plants, areca nuts, jackfruit, and you can see this tapioca, sesame, roselle, paddy. This is jhum paddy, and the aroma of the jhum paddy, I can feel it like paradise. This is so beautiful. So this is my concept of food forest. We don't have to impose any kind of technical things which the farmers cannot absorb. They live so happily. The happiness index of the people here, the tribal people, is beautiful. So we have to look at how slowly we lead this. And they are happy doing this. They are having all their food items. I could see the pumpkins, the gourds, they're growing inside the forest, the jhum paddy. And this is high density plantation, high density crop. So this is my concept of food forest, which I am promoting in whole Northeast so that I can stop the multinationals to pump in hybrid seeds, genetically modified crops, but we'll grow with our local crops like the sesame, the roselle tea. We can make herbal roselle tea. It's so good. And this beautiful jhum paddy. See, tapioca, so much of starch and carbohydrates we can get. So livelihood and nutrition, agriculture and nutrition has to be combined, and we have to think how we do it naturally, zero budget. That is my concept of food forest.
Daminando Kite kire ki dolong cipunando Oi pung bajun tene ferere puman Daminando Kite kire ki dolong cipunando Daminando Kite kire ki dolong cipunando